Day 3 of Stuck in California until I reach 100,000 subscribers. If you don't know me, I'm traveling to all the 50 states of the United States in order to spread the awareness on discriminations against high skilled workers based on their country of birth. So I'm traveling to all the 50 states, and today I'm in California. I have been in California for more than 3 days now. Back to state capital to protest, and I did this challenge that I need to reach 100,000 subscribers before I move to the next states, because I have been traveling to all these states. I already been to 37 states. Sometimes people ask me that if the million people are suffering because of this issue, why you only have this much follower? That's the main reason. But another reason I talked in the day 1 video. But the other reasons is that if there is not momentum built around this, then there will be like less pressure on the policymakers to change the laws, and also like there won't be much awareness. So people who can vote, Americans, they wouldn't know this about this issue. So it will take longer to bring this change. So I am hoping that people find out about this sooner than later. So I'm doing this challenge. Today is day 3, and I'm talking different things on each day. Today I'm talking about different reliefs and permanent solutions about this EB backlog, right? So estimated there are like 1.8 million people counting dependents in green card backlog for the employment based category, but there are like about 1.1 million stuck just based on their country of birth. So they are like waiting since as old as 2011. They have been waiting for relief. They are like in the country probably maybe way longer than 2011, right? Talking about me, I came here in 2009. So even before my immigration petition got approved, I have lived here for a long duration. So there are people like that. They have to maintain this H-1B, which is not an easy thing to maintain because it comes with a lot of restrictions. You are like tied to your employee. You cannot travel in and out of the country easily because you need to find time around, like if you need to do the stamping, you need to go when the consulates are open, right? So there are like different solutions for this. People talk about that, mainly for one is that providing the EAD and advanced payroll document. Another is that not counting dependents when it comes to allocating employment-based green cards. Third is that recapturing the green cards, because there are like so many green cards which are lost from 1992 up to now, because USCIS couldn't process them on the times, which are like lost, and we can recapture them and use them. So that's the third one. And the fourth one is which I have made my main focus, which is kind of like the toughest one. People talk that remove country cap and clear the existing backlog. So I'm going to talk about all four challenges associated with that, and what are the good things about those. And to be clear that I am in favor of all reliefs, right? All or any kind of relief is great. So I'm not saying that this is good or this is bad. I'm just saying that what are the advantages of each and what could be the challenges of each, right? So I'm in favor of that, but some I prefer more than other to spend my time on. So let's talk about first, which is like EAD and AP, right? Giving EAD and AP, which is like once people has this EAD, then they can change the job easily, right? If they want to change the job overnight, they can do it. And the advanced payroll, which is like a travel document they have, so they don't need to go to consulate. They don't need to plan around that if the visa appointment is available, right? And there are different ways to give this EAD AP they talked about. One is kind of like making a rule that right now there is a presidential committee for Asian and Pacific Islander. They approved a recommendation recently that once someone's I-140 is approved, then after 5 years they get EAD and AP. So that's one way. Some people say that they should get it right away as soon as someone's I-140 is approved, immigration petition is approved, give them EAD and AP right away, which is kind of like crazy, right? If you think about it, that if they give the EAD AP right after I-140 approval, then you are making H-1B visa obsolete, right? Right now it's like even harder to get the H-1B. So let's say that someone who doesn't get H-1B, they just like apply for I-140, their employer will apply for I-140, and once their I-140 is approved, they'll get this EAD and AP, which is kind of like a much better deal than H-1B. So kind of like no one will go for H-1B if that's the case, because I-140 doesn't have quota or country cap. So anyone with like a bachelor degree and 1 year of experience, they can even like easily qualify for EB3. So like if they start giving EAD and AP right after I-140 approval, then they are making like H-1B obsolete. So as I said earlier, I'm not against that. This is just like a thing that this can happen. Now the recommendation which recently got passed is like you get EAD in AP after 5 years of approval of 140. I'm not sure. I'm positive that hope they implemented it, because this recommendation are non-binding. So I'm not sure if the administration is gonna implement it. And when they implement it, what are the rules around that? Because one challenge is with that is that I-140 is only approved for primary applicants, right? There is no immigration petition for dependents. So who is gonna get EAD and AP? Only primary applicants are gonna get it, or like even the dependents are gonna get it, and how they gonna implement it? But which is like a great recommendation, and I hope that goes through. Another way people say that they should do it, because like this is like the new EAD and AP they need to carve out, right? Which is like doesn't exist yet. What exists is that once someone files the adjustment of status, and if the green card is not immediately available, they still receive the EAD and AP. So some people argue that they can advance the date of filings in the visa bulletin in October, and that way everyone can file the change of status, and everyone will receive the EAD and AP, which is like not a new EAD and AP they need to create. They just like advancing the filing dates, right? So there was like a huge movement recently, not too long ago, for this fiscal year, and there were like 60 members of Congress. They signed the letter to request them that, hey, advance the date of filings so these people get relief, which didn't work. But if they are doing this for one time, that's great, right? If they are doing this one time, there has been a huge backlog. So a lot of people will get this relief. One time doing is great, but if they start doing this every October, then the same thing happens, right? Which I talked about earlier. The challenge is that everyone will file 140, and the next October they would be able to file the change of status, so they will receive like EAD and AP. So we are like making H-1B obsolete. So kind of like that's the challenges with EAD and AP. The reason I haven't made that my focus, right, that from the beginning, there are like other reasons I will talk about later, but the main reason is that EAD and AP is great until you don't have it. Like it's something like when you don't have it, you want it, you will receive it, and it will provide a lot of relief. But I have friends who have already received it, and they are like complaining still, right, that it's not a total freedom. Everyone I know who has already received EAD and AP, they are still maintaining the H-1B, because that makes them like easier to maintain. I guess that there are some risks that let's say that if you don't have AP, then you cannot travel, but if you have like a visa stamp already, then you can travel, right? So right now, whoever has received EAD and AP, they are also maintaining H-1B. And whenever this like movement was that, and there were like a lot of people who has EAD and AP complaining that it's like a worse thing, because now you are not maintaining just one thing. Now you are like maintaining 2-3 different things, because you are maintaining H-1B and EAD and AP. So which is kind of a crazy. I wish people stop maintaining H1B, so then it would be like easier to find a permanent solutions when USCIS already stops receiving all this like renewal fee for H1B and all that. But like as you know that most people won't take that risk when like companies are already paying for H1B, right? They don't have to pay it out of pockets. So that's one of the reason that they still maintain the both of those things. So kind of like receiving EAD and AP is kind of like this, that let's say that if you win a lottery and you win a plane ticket to go somewhere on a vacation, you will be happy for a moment, but as soon as you go to the airport, you will find something to complain about, that okay, yeah, there is like a lot of traffic, or I didn't get something on time, or my bag got missed, right? So it's kind of that kind of a thing, which is great if it happens, but like getting that wouldn't like give us a solution we need, right? It wouldn't be like that much of a relief. So that's why, that's one of the reason I haven't made that my priority. All right, let's talk about the next thing, which everyone recommends, is that okay, they need to stop counting dependents when it comes to employment based category, or maybe like in the family based category as well. But we are like focused on employment based category. Now one thing, it's great that if they stop counting dependents, great or a bad thing is that right now the employment based quota is like 140,000 each year, right? Let's say if they stop counting dependents, then everyone has at least like 1 or 2 dependents on average. So they are immediately like doubling or tripling the quota, the existing quota of the employment base, right? Because right now it's 140,000 including dependent, then it will be like, if they stop counting dependent, it will be like double or triple. Which if they do, there is nothing wrong with that. Like it would be helpful, but it won't be helpful a lot if there is still country cap, right? People who are stuck waiting since 2012, that date's not gonna move much because there is still country cap, right? So it's something, if they do it, it's great. But I think that people who are stuck in this backlog because of the country cap, it's not going to help them much, and we shouldn't focus a lot of our time and efforts on that end, because that's going to benefit mostly to the rest of the world. So they should start focusing on that, right? So there should be a movement, but that should be from the rest of the world, that okay, let's stop counting dependents, because it's mostly gonna help them. It's gonna benefit us as well, but it's very little. So it's like even though they are like doubling or tripling the quota, the help we get is very minimum. Our date's not gonna move much, right? So that's the second thing. The third thing is that recapturing all the lost green cards, which I love. There is already a bill in the Congress right now, which is called HR 1535. So like that bill is great. I like it. I wish like a lot of organizations who are like actively advocating for solution would have put much more attention to this bill, but they haven't. So we have recently started like advocating for that bill and started reaching out to members of Congress to co-sponsor that, to bring that bill to the House floor for voting. Because that bill, what it does is that it recaptures all the lost green cards from 1992 up till now and assigns them on the base of priority, right? So if that bill gets passed, that will help us to clear the green card backlog from the back. So that is going to help us a lot. People who have been waiting the most, they are going to get it the first. So that bill, I love it. I talked about that yesterday as well in detail, because like some members of Congress are saying that this bill needs to be tweaked. Family-based green card needs to go back to family-based, and employment-based needs to go back to employment-based. So I talked about why this bill needs to stay the way it is, and that I think I'm gonna try to advocate it as much as I can. Now the last thing which is kind of like, that's not a relief, that's kind of like a permanent solution to end this discrimination, which I made my campaign around, because all the other things I talked about are temporary. This is kind of like a permanent solution, because you are removing, when you remove the country cap, you are ending the discrimination, right? There might be still backlog if they don't increase the green cards, but it won't be like discrimination. Then it would be like kind of an issue, but it's not a discrimination, because whoever came first, whoever's I-140 got approved first, they are gonna receive it first, right? So I'm saying that remove country cap and clear the existing backlogs, so then the system becomes fair from the day one. The reason, one of the main reason I made my campaign around this is because whenever I'm going to different states, I'm talking to anyone, I have a strong argument for this one, rather than like, let's say if I have made a EAD AP my primary choice, then it's like, okay, we are like accepting this discrimination and just give us some kind of relief, which is still kind of like makes sense, but I don't feel like psyched about that argument, right? Right now, whenever I'm going to someone and I'm talking and I'm saying clearly that this is something wrong. Country of birth is not a skill, and when you are like prioritizing someone based on the country of birth, it's unfair to the people who came here on student visa, work visa, which doesn't have country of birth, which doesn't have country cap, and then once they are here, their growth depends on where they are born, rather than skills and educations and experience, and all those things matters less. And also it's hurting America, because they cannot hire the best of the best employee even if they are available, right? Right now, if the best of the best doctor is available in India, there is no way to hire them in the employment-based category, in the EB category. So that's like hurting America, is like discouraging people from coming here. So that I find strong argument. And if that is done, then all the other things are kind of like a temporary, right? So let's say if I have made a EAD AP my priority, then it's like once everyone got EAD AP, right now there are like very few people doing advocacy, right? If they provide this relief, then there will be like very few people would be advocating, and then also like someone has to start the entire movement from beginning, right? That EAD APD got done. Now we need to start a whole movement for like removing country cap, and then they will be like, okay, we just gave them one thing, now they are asking for another thing, right? So rather than like going back and forth, this is the primary thing which I wish there was like I wanted to create a momentum around this, and which I'm gonna keep trying to create momentum. A lot of people came up with argument that Anuj, it's not possible in this Congress. Some people say that it's never possible, it would never happen. But let's say that if someone says that it's not possible in this Congress, do you want to wait until the next Congress come and then start the movement? Rather than if there is a momentum build, then we can get it still done. I believe that we can still get it done in this Congress. But if it is not done in this Congress, if the next Congress comes, which will be in January 2025, we already have this huge momentum build. So it would be like very easy to bring that bill, and then it would be very easy to push for, advocate for that bill. So I want to build the momentum towards that. Also, like things can change at any moment, right? Yesterday, if you knew yesterday, there was an executive order issued from President Biden that we need to prioritize some people in the emerging technologies. So you don't know what's gonna happen in this Congress, right? There is still like 14 or more months, and this is the need of the hour. So I truly believe that if we can build the momentum, the solution is simple. They also like if primary applicants are only about like 600 or 700,000 in the green card backlog, right? they recently gave this relief to 500,000 people who are not even here. So to give us this permanent solution is not challenging, but it is now also become very critical if you have seen the executive orders. So the thing is very simple, that remove country cap and clear the existing backlog, because then the system will be fair from the day one, and then they can improve the immigration however they want to do it, right? So I still believe that we have enough time to get it done, to build this momentum. And that's why I'm doing, one of the reason I'm doing this challenge is that, okay, we need to gather people, build the momentum. I am planning to finish this campaign, my overall 50-state campaign. Hopefully, not hopefully, the date is fixed for my 58th state protest, which is 2nd March 2024. And I hope there will be like enough people by then to get the attention on this issue which it deserves. And then even if you think about that, we'll have 8 months left in this Congress. So if there is enough momentum, I think we can get it done in this Congress, right? And I also tell people that whatever struggle we need to go through, we already been, right? I've been here for 14 years. Now, if they have given me green card right when I came, I had to go through a lot of struggles. I wouldn't have to go through a lot of struggles which I went through now. So now, after 14 years, if I get this green card, it would be good, but it wouldn't give me the same amount of, it wouldn't decrease my struggle. So if we become like, if we stay a little less selfish and not go for the easiest thing, if we push for this thing to end this discrimination, a lot of people, the most number of students and workers, high skilled workers, they hire from India. So they wouldn't have to go through the same struggles which we had to go through, right? They wouldn't have to face the same discrimination. And it's not just about India, any country like that. There is a backlog from China, Mexico, anyone who wouldn't have to like struggle just based on their country of birth. Now, if there is not enough visa number available, and if they are like in the backlog based on the priority, that's fine, right? They will still need to improve it, but they wouldn't be like facing the discrimination based on their country of birth, which no one should. So that's my hope that happens soon. Anyways, that we can do it sooner than later if more people find out about this campaign. So hopefully reach out to the people, anyone who you can, ask them to subscribe to this channel so they find out about this movement, and then they can come to the in-person protest, or like they can like share this information to their different friends that what's going on. They can join the advocacy in whatever way they can. And if there are like more subscribers, the content will reach organically to the American as well, who are not suffering directly, but they are suffering indirectly. So they will find out sooner as well. So hopefully we can reach 100,000 subscribers soon. This is my 3rd day. I'm not sure how soon that's gonna happen, but hopefully soon, so I can continue to my other states. All right, I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about tomorrow. Let me know if there is something you want me to talk about tomorrow. Leave it in the comments. If you have any questions on anything I talked about today, leave it in the comments. And thanks for joining. There are like 8 people, I guess, watching live, so that's great. I appreciate your time. And I leave this video forever. So even if you can not join live, you can always come back and view later. But if you are joining live, we can have this conversation. I see comments, great ideas, way to go, Anuj. Thanks. Yeah. All right. Have a great day. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.